Well, I mean, obviously, this was a huge win for us. It's probably the understatement of the year. Just really proud of our guys. It was a tough opener, and I think everybody's seeing now across the country that happens. And these are college kids that have tough nights sometime. And we spent a lot of time with each other after that game, and just kind of trying to let the air out of the balloon with relaxing each other. I thought we were really tight in our first game because everybody wants to do so well, and they're young kids that, really haven't done much at this level. I mean, how many of the guys out there have really accomplished a lot? That's what's fun about this group is watching them do stuff like this. And, I knew we were going to play much better. I knew we were going to play hard. I knew we were going to play with a lot of fight, but I didn't know if that would mean winning because I know how good Providence is and is going to be. And Coach Cooley is a great friend of mine. I've known him. He and I were assistant coaches in the ACC, BC, Duke battles, and he's just a great, great coach and runs a heck of a program. And, obviously we switched our defenses a little bit we had a lot of matchup problems if we were going to guard them man-to-man. And we just felt like the zones might give us a chance to keep them off balance. And you got to give up something. And we were going to give up some open looks from three because we knew how physical they were. And it's just kind of incredible. It shows the power of effort. I look at the stat sheet and they get 20 offensive rebounds. We turn it over 20 times, and they get 25 more shots at the basket. And we win by 9. So sometimes analytics don't tell the whole story, boys. Sometimes there's an old thing called heart. And that's what our guys had tonight. I'm just really proud of our guys because they need confidence. They're young kids. I mean, you look at guys out there, even the sophomores, Miller Kopp, Pete Nance, those guys have not played a ton in their career. Now they're in big roles. I mean, Ryan Young as a freshman getting 16 and 7 in his second college game. I thought Gaines' energy was huge all night. And then obviously Spencer making 4 free throws late after being in foul trouble in the game. So great win. I told our guys after, we can't overreact to tonight, just like we can't overreact to what happened on Friday. I mean, it's one game in a long journey, but it puts us back on the right track as we move forward into our next one.
Just when did you feel like maybe the guys were over, what was brutal first loss?
Yeah.
They were going to play well.
Yeah, we got together. We played Friday. Saturday was an off day, and we got together on Sunday, and we just spent some time before we practiced. We just spent some time together. All of us in a room. We all talked. I mean, I let the players talk. The coaches talked. We all kind of talked about how we were feeling, what we were feeling, and as that was going on in the first game. And it was kind of like one of those like just let it go moments, and we're going to move forward in the right direction. And we went out onto the practice floor, and I just noticed, all the guys just were a lot more free. And we were still making a ton of mistakes. I mean, that's why we made a ton of mistakes tonight. I mean, we turned it over. We didn't block out at times. We made some silly plays. But if you play free and you play with confidence and you play really hard and you play united, I just believe you'll give yourself a chance to win.
Providence went on that run to cut your 19-point lead down, but then you guys flipped the switch and converted offensively. What do you think the reasons are that you guys were able to snap out of that?
It's a great question, Charlie. One of the things we've really struggled with that so far this year, because of our youth and because of, I think, our lack of kind of swagger and confidence because of not accomplishing a lot as a group, whether it be in our close scrimmages, whether it be in not as much the Quincy game, but obviously our first game and stuff in practice. Like when things don't go well, we've had a real tendency to kind of fold. And it's something over the past 2 days we've really gotten on each other about, like in the span of a 40-minute game, like there are going to be runs. You're going to get hit with an 8-0 run. It's going to be a 10-2 run, something of that magnitude. And the house can't be built of cards at that point. And, I thought we really rallied around that when they cut it to 5. There was a timeout there, and we brought that up, how we weren't going to fold and this was going to be different. And then, I think Ryan Young got a big bucket there to kind of put us, and then Miller Miller hit a big jumper there on the baseline. I think that was one of the buckets too that kind of put us back up 7, and then we were able to hold them off. So it was definitely a big moment to have to go through that, because we've struggled with that, and that's going to be a constant process. I mean, we got all these young guys, man, and I love them, and they're fun to coach, but they're young, and they're going to look young, and we just got to keep plugging away and working hard and seeing if we can get better. That's what's going to be, to me, that's what's going to be fun about this year, is like, let's just see if we can keep getting better. Let's see if we can keep developing. Guys can get more confident, figure out a way to put ourselves in contention to win games, and then let's see what happens. I really like this group going forward, though. You look over there's a lot of guys that are going to be around here for a long time and play a lot of games, and games like tonight are huge for their development.
Coach, you mentioned the miscues, the turnovers, the offensive rebounds. How do you kind of harp on the positives from this game while also realizing that this team has a lot of work to do moving forward?
We did a lot of things wrong, but for us, we needed a feel good thing, and we won the game. But yeah, especially if you're playing zone, and we knew, they're a physical team. They got 2 guys that are 24 years old, and Emmett Holt's the same age as McIntosh, who's now a coach on my staff. Pipkins is old. Those guys, Diallo, they're grown men. They're grown men who's played a lot of college games and are a very experienced team. So we knew they were going to be real physical with us. And, in the zone at times, you have a tendency to not block out as well because you don't really have a man. So, that's something as we continue to play the defense. We're going to have to rebound better, and then we got to take care of the ball. There's no question. I thought we had some sloppy. There were some ones they forced because they're good, but I thought we had 6 to 8 turnovers that were really under our control that we're going to have to iron out when we watch the film.
Coach, you talk about the zone a couple of times. Is that more of a response to something you saw in Providence, or a response to the way your team played in that first game defensively?
I think a little bit of both. I think you guys that have been covering us for a long time, for me, when you have low moments, I just feel like at times you got to shuffle the deck, whether change your lineup, change your defense, do something different offensively. I've always felt like when you're trying to flush something and move on to make some kind of change sometimes is good. And we also felt it was going to be a good game plan for this game. We didn't feel very confident that we were going to have a good matchup for Alpha Diallo. He's so good and he's so versatile, and he can drive and shoot and get you in foul trouble. We thought their guards were going to give us problems with their quickness. And so we felt like if we could maybe, get them in the zone, mix and match a little bit, try to keep them on their heels, and then hope they weren't shooting great. They got a lot of good looks, but, we knew we were going to give some of that up if it meant taking away some of their isolations, taking away their pick and roll game. If you watch these guys play, they're a well-oiled machine with their offense. Coach Cooley, they run a lot of sets, and I didn't want to put that on our guys. I just wanted them to play really hard. So sometimes if you go to a zone, teams usually don't have a million zone plays. They have a handful of things they like to do, and it would make our guys a little bit less paralyzed out there where they could just play.
And the way quickly, Ryan Greer not seeing any time, was that a decision on your end or something?
Yeah, just the way the game went, and I'll talk to Ryan. He's got to be ready, and he's a key guy. It's just one of those, the way the game was going and how guys were playing, and he's just got to be ready when called. There's going to be a number of games where he's going to be called on to help us going forward.
The way you guys shot the ball at the beginning, did that just get everyone to relax and just play?
I think so. When the ball goes in, that's a good feeling. When guys see the ball go in, and I thought we shot it incredibly well in the first half, which was key. And I'm just a big believer that the ball goes in when your head's in the right spot. I just think when your mind's right, when you're competing, when you're fighting, when you're just playing, because I was a guy who was a shooter, and at times if I missed a couple shots, like, oh man, I'm not hitting or whatever, and what I always tried to focus on was like doing other things. Can I take a charge? Can I get a rebound? Can I get a loose ball? And then all of a sudden, if you do that, you find that your shot starts going in. It's funny how the power of the mind. And so I just thought a lot of guys maybe that would have been struggling with their shots, Miller, AJ, some of these guys, like, if they could throw themselves and just competing and fighting, that the ball would go in the basket, and it did.
Ryan Young tonight, 16 points, 7 to 9 shooting. It seemed like you were going to him a lot down the stretch. What did you think of his performance tonight?
Well, they were really extending out on us. So he was awesome. I'm so proud of him. Here's a guy last year that just got his head kicked in every day by Derek Pardon. I mean, that's no fun because Derek practiced as hard as he played in games, so that kid had to show up every night and play against DP. And what that does is it gets you tougher and it gets you better. And, both Derek and Barrett, I thought last year did an amazing job with Ryan. They took him under his wing. They worked with him. They showed him what it was about. They showed him how hard he had to work. And, the reason we redshirted him is because we feel like he can be a really good player. It was not because we didn't feel good about him. It's because we wanted to invest in what he was going to be. And, he's just really happy for him to have that kind of a game in his second college game.
Coach, you mentioned analytics, and the analytics say that offensive efficiency is down across the sport this season because of the new three-point line. Do you think that the zone can be a long-term solution for you?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to use it, no question. For us, I think we have good size. You look out there and, you see a zone with Nance and Ryan Young and Gaines and Turner and Kopp. We have bigger guys. And, we still have to work on our man. We're not going to board our man-to-man. But, I think we found something that's been successful. And now, I mean, look, we hadn't played it at all. So you get a little bit of an ambush attack in the first game, and because they didn't prepare for it. Now that teams have seen what we're doing, they'll have some film, and, we're going to have to get better, at it as people try to attack it better. And I still think we're going to have to use our man as well and get better with our man-to-man.
Yeah, hey, Coach. A few highlight plays in the first half from Robbie Barron.
Yeah.
What impressed you the most from his performance, and what are you looking for him or from him in these early games?
Yeah, I mean, Robbie's a key part of our future, man. I mean, he was rated where he was because he's really good, and he's going to get stronger. He's going to get more confident as he gets more experience. But I think he showed his talent. He stepped out and banged 2 threes. He's an athletic kid. He's an active guy. He's a good defender. He's a huge part of what we're trying to build. I mean, and you look out there and you really with Barron and Bowie and Jones and Ryan Young, those guys are all freshmen. We have a kid sitting out from William and Mary we're really high on, Chase Audige. Our sophomore class, Miller and Pete, Gaines is a junior. So, we feel really good about our nucleus going forward. But we also know we're super young. So there's going to be nights like our first game, and hopefully there's a lot of nights like tonight where it all comes together and we find a way to win some big games.
Hi, Coach. What role do you specifically see Ryan Young playing the rest of this season?
Yeah, just what he did tonight. I mean, I'm not saying he's going to get 16 every night, but we need him to anchor. He's got size. We need him to rebound. We need him to play good D. We need him to finish strong underneath the basket. He's a skilled kid. He can pass. I think as he continues to play more, like you saw in the first half, he rolled out and hit a little corner jump shot there early in the game. I think he's got a chance to be a very good player. And the more he plays and the more experience and confidence he gets, again, he's a huge part of what we're trying to build for our future. Thanks, Coach. All right, thanks, guys.